James, and welcome to the first episode of Area Check. This is my new commentary-based video series that I'll be doing on my channel. This is intended to both augment and complement the other content that I'll be producing, some of which I'll be talking about later on. Obviously, it's centered around the new Storm and Rotogrip bowling balls that are always coming down the pipe. But this is just kind of another way to communicate with you all whatever's going on, whether it be new equipment, changes to my bag, tournaments that are coming along, industry trends that I've noted, going up to watch some of the Tournament of Champions this weekend, so I'll probably talk some about that later on. Whatever's kind of on my mind. So with that said, let's get right into it. First things first, ball videos. Obviously the Rotogrip UFO released a couple weeks ago. I am aware that I'm very behind on getting a video out for that, and I do apologize for it. I have been extremely busy the past couple weeks, and like I mentioned in my last channel update, it is also very difficult for me to film for that right now. My home center's house shot is fairly low volume, and I can't get a good ball reaction with the UFO on that. It's too strong of a ball. It's not designed for those types of conditions. So I want to give that a fair shake. Make sure I'm giving you a good understanding, a good picture of what the ball is going to do. And I feel I can't do that justice right now. I am actively working on that. Hopefully, once I'm back next week, I'll be able to have the chance to actually film and get some video for that. Get that information out to you guys so you can know more about the bowling ball. In addition to the UFO, there are other videos coming because there are more bowling balls coming. The first two of these are from Storm, and they both release on February 21st. These are the Omega Crux and the Pitch Purple. The Omega Crux is an exciting new ball. I'm actually really curious to throw this one. It's got the GI-20 Pearl cover stock, which is a new formula. There's Storm saying the GI-20 is actually the strongest cover they have ever released here in the States, which is kind of crazy to think about. Think about some of the covers like the Sherlock hooked a ton. The spec cover hooks very, very early. So it's up there and even stronger than those, but it's the Pearl version of those. So it's still going to be a little more responsive down lane. But you think Pearl cover, you normally think polished surface. Not so with the Omega Crux. It's surface at 3000 sanded out of the box and does not have polish applied to it. So practically speaking, it looks like it's kind of fitting somewhere in between a physics and an astrophysics to a certain extent. Just in terms of how it's reacting right now, just from what I've seen from other people throwing it. I don't have mine yet. It's getting here later this week, so I'm looking forward to testing that. So Omega Crux has the GI-20 Pearl cover. It is a sanded pearl, which is weird but looks really cool, and it's got the Catalyst asymmetric core from the other balls in the Crux series. So I'm looking forward to testing that. Also looking forward to testing Storm's new urethane, the Pitch Purple. It's got a tweaked version, just a different additive package on top of the same base cover stock as the Pitch Black, which is Storm's default de facto urethane ball they've had in their line for several years now. It's got the same core as the Pitch Black. It's the, I believe it's the capacitor symmetric core, which is a pretty weak core, not a whole lot of differential, doesn't flare a whole lot. And it's got the same box surface, which is 1000 grit sanded from the factory. From what I've seen on this and in talking with others who have thrown both, looks like the Pitch Purple kind of projects a little bit more than the Pitch Black and also responds a little more down lane than the Pitch Black. But it does all this while still maintaining that really control-oriented ethos you'd normally expect to see from a urethane ball. So I'm very excited to test this one as well. I haven't thrown either of the Storm urethanes yet, so I've got a Pitch Purple and a Pitch Black on the way. They're both getting here this weekend. So I'll definitely be testing those, and anytime I'm bowling on shorter sport patterns, I'm expecting those to be in very strong consideration for my arsenal. The last ball that is coming out is the Nuclear Cell from Rotogrip. The Cell series has been much beloved for a very long time from the Rotogrip family. Wes Malot's run back in the King of Bowling series in 2009 down at the Kettle Training Center did all that with a Cell Pearl, which is I think it was the second ball in the series period. So it's got a long and storied history. Even the Hypercell Fused, which is the last stateside release in the Hypercell line, in the Cell series, sorry. That ball's still seeing a pretty substantial amount of use out on tour, and the Nuclear Cell looks like pretty much an updated version of that to a certain extent. It's got an updated formula off of the covers of the Halo Pearl and the Idol Pearl. Cover on the Nuclear Cell is the E-Trax P20 Pearl reactive cover stock. Don't know exactly where it's going to stack up in the line. Haven't really heard a whole lot about the ball. I haven't even seen it go down a lane yet. But I know a lot of people really like the Cell series. The E-Trax covers have shown to be very, very successful both with the Idol Pearl, the Halo Pearl, and the Idol Pro. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Rotogrip has changed with that cover, and getting some lane time with the nuclear cell, and hopefully bringing a video to y'all for that as well. That releases on March the 6th, so expect to see videos later this month for that ball as well. Let's see, speaking of bowling balls and my arsenal that I'm carrying around with me regularly, not a whole lot has changed since the last time I talked to you guys about my bag. The one thing that has is this ball right here. But James, I thought you said you had a physics already. Well, I did, but I may or may not have drilled another one. The physics that I showed you all in my Arsenal introduction video was pinned down, I think pinned below my bridge, with a weight hold down by the thumb. So intended to be a more controlled, very rolly type of layout. This, as you can see, is not set up like that. With my PAP, this is 45 by 5 1/4 by 45. So the goal here versus my pin down physics went a little longer on my pin to PAP distance, so that's going to tame the change of direction a little bit, but I also went more aggressive on both of my angles. So I shortened up the VAL angle and used a pretty strong drilling angle. What I was trying to accomplish with all of this was get a ball that will be a little more defined in the mid lane and not make me have to throw it quite as far away from the pocket, but also to still control that change of direction. The issue that's always plagued me with big sanded asymmetrics, like the physics in the past, is if you go with a really, really strong pin-up layout on one of those, it would force me into a lot of angle issues because of my rev rate. So I'd keep throwing the ball, keep hooking early, keep hooking early, keep hooking early. I keep moving left, and all of a sudden it hits a wall and just starts giving me flat 10s best case or 2/8-10s worst case. That's not very fun to deal with. So this ball, the physics is obviously a little cleaner than a lot of stereotypical big balls. Plus this layout is actually giving me a pretty wide range of use while getting me a little bit more of that defined, really heavy rolling shape down lane. So far so good. Haven't had much of a chance to actually throw it. As you can see, the surface is still really, really fresh on this ball, but I am really enjoying it so far, and I'm liking what I'm seeing out of it quite a bit. If I take a physics with me to Reno for the Open Championships this summer, there is a very strong chance that this is the one that I take with me. Speaking of Reno, that's another series that I am looking forward to starting on my channel soon. I'm making my 4th trip to the USBC Open Championships in June. This is my first time visiting Reno, and it'll be my first time inside the National Bowling Stadium, both of which I am very excited about. This process that I'm going to be going through over the next several months, preparation, narrowing down my bag, figuring out what I'm taking with me, kind of starting to observe what I'm seeing from videos of other bowlers out there at the Open Championships. All of that process I'm going to try and wrap up in a video series for you guys to kind of give you a little more insight into kind of the basis of this channel, which is practical competition and arsenal building, and kind of the thought process behind that and how to think about it, how to go about it, and know things that you might need to be thinking about in your own game, whether it be for leagues or tournament play. There's also going to be some different decision points for me building for 2 different sport patterns than for a mystery house shot, which is normally what I'm bowling on. So there's going to be some different decision points. My bag's probably going to look a little different for the Open Championships than it does when I'm going to a house shot event. So that'll be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that series. I think there's going to be some really cool stuff we can do with that. Finally, other tournaments coming up. That's right. Let's see, bowled an event at Triad Lanes in Greensboro last weekend. Dre Gaither runs monthly handicap eliminators out there. Try to make it out to those when I can. They're usually pretty high scoring, usually a lot of brackets involved, so a lot of side pots, a lot of money that can be made if you bowl well. Attendance was down a little bit this month. I think there were some folks out of town. The TAT was last month out in Vegas, so I pulled some of my teammates away from Hitman, which is my UBA team. But I was able to still bowl very, very well and walk away making some money. Ended up finishing 9th in a field of 78. And this was the really cool part, is I set a new personal best of throwing a 30 bagger in the middle of that. So I went back 9 one game, then I shot 300, then I had front 9 the next game, and then I think I 2-pinned or something like that on a bad shot. But that was really cool to be able to kind of pop off that kind of performance mid-tournament. Didn't have the greatest of starts, but was still to keep myself in it mentally, and all of my gear was striking a ton. I ended up using Ended up using my IQ Tour Solid, my Hustle Ink, and my Code Black for most of the day. So, Bill, thank you for the hookup on the Code Black. I will definitely be hitting you up for more of those. So that was a lot of fun. And then I've got a couple tournaments coming up this weekend, one of which I'm bowling, one of which I am not. Flying out later this week to Akron, Ohio. Got a friend that lives up there, and the PBA Tournament of Champions is up there this weekend. I've gone up there the past 2 years to hang out and watch some bowling. It's been a lot of fun. It's been an awesome experience, and I am making a return trip for that. Lanes look tough but playable this week, and I'm really looking forward to see how they develop throughout the week and into match play. I am also bowling in the Pro-Am for that on Saturday, which that's brought some really cool moments, some really cool memories over the past couple of years. Doing that with some friends of mine, Brandon, Kyle, and Keith, and I forget who else. There's one other person I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Brandon's dad. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm flying back on Saturday night, right after I bowl the Pro-Am. That is because I'm actually bowling in a tournament here in the Raleigh-Durham area on Sunday. The UBA draft is this weekend. It's a 5-man, 3-game event. I believe a scratch, but it's got some interesting roster construction rules. There's a couple slots on your roster that are average capped. Has to be a mixed gender roster, and it's going to be a full house and a whole lot of fun. And that's at Village Lanes in Durham. It's where I bowl league every week on Tuesdays, and I've actually been bowling really, really well there the last month. I have 3 perfect games and a 253 average in that building for the past 5 weeks. So I'm definitely looking forward to making some money there this weekend. And then right after the draft, I am defending this. This is the UBA Southeast Heavyweight Championship belt. I won this in a match versus Dre Gaither, the guy who ran the tournament on Saturday. Won it in November and then defended it successfully in December and January. And now I get to defend it again this Sunday right after the draft. This match is going to be really, really fun because I'm defending it against the guy who runs the pro shop at Village Lanes, and we're bowling at Village Lanes. So that's going to be a tough match. Bryson's a good guy. He throws it great. Really tough mentally, always finds a way to strike, and that's the kind of bowler you want to face in a situation like this. So I'm definitely looking forward to that match, and hopefully I'll be able to come back to you guys and still have this belt with me. So that's all of that. Last thing is the channel giveaway. I am making a significant amount of progress towards my first tier of my subscriber giveaway. When we hit 1,500 subscribers, the chamois and ball cleaner giveaway will be activated. I'll be selecting a winner for that and getting that mailed out. And then when we get to 2,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away a Storm or Roto Grip bowling ball of your choice. Really excited to do this. Just a way to give back to you guys. Seeing the growth of this channel so far has been awesome, and I'm looking forward to bringing a lot more new content to you guys in the future. So that is all I have for right now. I got the Omega Crux, the Pitch Purple, and the Nuclear Cell coming soon. I got some tournaments coming up. Road to Reno is coming. I owe you guys a lot of ball videos, and hopefully I get to keep this shiny piece of hardware for a little bit longer. So that is all I have for now. Good luck out there on the lanes, and I will talk to you guys next time.